With all of the recent news surrounding the cancellation of the Batgirl movie, it has left a lot of fans wondering why. Why did Warner Bros. Cancel the film after reportedly spending $90 million on it? The answer is quite simple, but it's not what you might think. Hi, I'm your host, and this is your daily reminder that I love you. Now, to those of you who are just tuning in for the first time, let me catch you up on everything you need to know about the situation with Batgirl. For starters, what is Batgirl? Batgirl was an upcoming superhero film based on the DC Comics character of the same name. It was set to be released on HBO Max as part of the DC Extended Universe, sharing continuity with movies such as Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and The Suicide Squad. The film was directed by Adil El Arbi and Bel Al-Fala, from a script written by Christina Hodson, and it had a reported budget of $90 million. The story was set to follow Barbara Gordon, played by Leslie Grace. After she uses her detective skills and gadgets to fight crime in Gotham City as the superhero Batgirl, it had a pretty stellar cast attached to it. As I mentioned, Leslie Grace was cast in the lead role as Barbara Gordon Batgirl. Michael Keaton was also set to reprise his role as Bruce Wayne, Batman from Batman, and Batman Returns. The rest of the cast included Brendan Fraser as the villain Firefly, Jacob Sita as the villain Penguin, J.K. Simmons as Commissioner James Gordon, Ivory Aquino as Barbara's best friend and confidant, Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Huntress, and Corey Stoll as the villain No. 2. Filming took place in Scotland from November 2021 to March 2022. But following test screenings, the studio received feedback that audiences did not like the film. On August 2, 2022, it was announced that the film would not receive a theatrical release and would instead be released on HBO Max. Just 2 months later, on October, it was announced that Batgirl would not be released on HBO Max and would be shelved indefinitely. This was a surprising move since Warner Bros. Discovery had just spent $90 million on the film and its marketing. So why did they cancel it? According to Variety, sources say the main reason for the cancellation is because test audiences felt that the movie was ungood. A source close to the project said, quote, "It's a business decision. There was no problem with the movie. Test audiences weren't responding to it. It wasn't clicking." Other sources have said that while test screening audiences liked the performances of the cast, including Keaton's return as Batman, they didn't care about the story. This isn't the first time test audiences have rejected a movie. In 2011, Sony released the 3D animated movie The Smurfs, which received negative reviews from critics and audiences. It made $233 million at the worldwide box office against a $110 million budget. But the studio still decided to greenlight a sequel, The Smurfs 2. Before the release of the sequel, test audiences were shown both The Smurfs 2 and another Sony animated film, Hotel Transylvania. They preferred Hotel Transylvania, so Sony shelved The Smurfs 2 and released Hotel Transylvania first. The Smurfs 2 was eventually released after Hotel Transylvania. It grossed $346 million at the worldwide box office against a $100 million budget. So as you can see, test audiences have the final say in whether or not a movie gets released. There were other factors that contributed to the cancellation of Batgirl. The studio was looking to cut costs wherever they could, and the marketing budget was one area where they could save money. This was evident in the trailers for Black Adam and Shazam, Fury of the Gods, which both downplayed the involvement of certain characters in order to avoid revealing major plot points. Additionally, Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav has been trying to make the company more profitable, and he has been looking for ways to cut costs. The cancellation of Batgirl was part of his plan to save money and focus on making more profitable movies. The cancellation of Batgirl has left many people disappointed, especially those who were excited to see Michael Keaton back as Batman. However, it is important to remember that the decision to cancel the film was not made lightly. Test audiences were not the only deciding factor. The studio likely took into account the current state of the company, the box office performance of other DC films, and the future plans for the DCEU when making their decision. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, this is your host saying goodbye.